Welcome to Reddit Tea Time. Am I the bonehead for telling my boyfriend if he chooses his mother in life, he better choose her in death too? I, 30 female and 36 male, have been dating for 8 years. For context, he was raised by a single mother, 70 and healthy, of 7 kids, who doesn't like any of her children's partners. My partner is the youngest. My boyfriend and I have often spoken about the impact the absence of his father had on him. He told me he wants to be around to raise his future kids. I was raised in a 2-parent household, and I wanted the same for our future kids. We had many discussions and were on the same page about everything. We agreed that we would live together in 4 years, 2019. In 2019, he purchased a building with 5 units. His brother and his family live in one, wife and 3 kids. My boyfriend and his mother live in one, and he rents out the other 3. When my boyfriend bought his building, he told me he wanted to give his mother a unit and for me to move in with him. I told him that was very sweet and was on board with it. He said he wanted 2 years to fix up her unit. Then she would move out and I would move in 2021. I already own a home, so the plan was always to move in with him and rent out my house. 2 years ago, I got pregnant, 2021, and this made his mother upset. She wished death on the baby and said that she wanted nothing to do with me or the baby. She made it very clear that she was never going to move out. She told me she is the queen of the house, and I would be the queen when she dies. I was furious and asked how she could say such hateful things. My boyfriend spoke to her and they had an argument. He told me he would not force her to move out. I reminded him that his plan was to always put her in her own unit, which is in the same building. He said she was not interested. I suggested that he move in with me, and he said he did not want to live in my city. He said that I should just move in with them. I refused. Why would I want to live with someone who doesn't like me? I asked why he wanted to raise his daughter in a broken home. His mother told me I better get used to being a single mother. She said I only have one, so it won't be that difficult. I live in a different city from my boyfriend. We live an hour apart. When our daughter was born, he spent the first 4 weeks at my house. Every day he would go home to do something for his mother. This really annoyed me. His mother does not have any ailments and is able to do things for herself. I suggested that he ask his brother to do whatever needs to be done. He told me it wouldn't be possible as his brother is very busy with his family. When I asked him why he had to go home every day, he said his mother needed him because she was feeling lonely. I asked him when he thinks he will cut the umbilical cord. This struck a nerve. His mother got COVID and I nursed her back to health. I thought this was the turning point for us. However, once she got better, she became even more hateful towards me. She told me she doesn't like me and never will. I asked her if I did something to her. She told me I hadn't done anything and she just doesn't like me. I spoke to my boyfriend about it, and he told me she never likes anyone he dates. He told me all of his past relationships have ended because of his mother. She was mean to all of his past partners and basically ran them away. He knows he needs to set more boundaries. He says he feels guilty because she was a single mom who took care of him, so now it is his turn to take care of her. I told him that he should prioritize the family that we are building. I asked him when he thinks he will be ready to live his life, and he said when she dies. I told him, since he is choosing his mother over his family, remember to choose her in death as well. I will not wait for his mother to die to live my life. Am I the bonehead? Your boyfriend has made it clear that you, or any other potential partner, will be second to his mother until she is dead. You have 2 choices. 1. Accept these terms and continue on with him, but recognizing you will always come behind his mother for his time and attention. 2. Refuse these terms and break up with him. Obviously, you would want to do your best to co-parent with him, but move on with regard to any further romantic attachment. It's a crummy position, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward. Not the bonehead. I am absolutely shocked you went through an entire pregnancy and nothing changed. He couldn't have freed up a unit for you and the baby? If he didn't make a single accommodation for his family at that point, he never will. The dude is effed up. Tell him he's just like his father, and your daughter will grow up without a stable family just like he did. Don't wait around until his mother dies. You deserve a man who will put you and your daughter first. Sadly, that is not him. Make a clean break, set up child support and co-parenting arrangements. Move on from this mommy's boy. Am I the bonehead for not telling my boyfriend my brother and I are not biologically related? My 26 females half-brother M and I are not biologically related. I found this out at age 16, but nothing in our family's dynamic changed, and it's not something we really speak about. My boyfriend Dan, together 1 year, found this out over Christmas. We visited my family, and has since been really weird about it. He says that first and foremost he's mad I never told him. I don't see why it would matter, but he says it's something you would normally share with a partner after being together as long as we have, and he didn't think we had secrets. I don't think this is a secret or even an omission. It's not some dark family history that you get told once you take an oath. It's an ancillary bit of info that is either relevant or not. No one treats M any differently now that we know, and my dad always knew and didn't care, so why would I go around advertising it? Dan says he looks at my relationship with M totally differently now. He says he feels a bit weird about how he's observed us behaving now that he knows we're not even related. We are not Folger's siblings, so I don't even know what he's talking about. He says there's a part of him that's wondering if I didn't tell him so that it would make our lack of boundaries less of a red flag. Dan is not a jealous or controlling person in the slightest, so this has me quite shocked. He seems really hurt and worried about it, and I'm wondering if this is a big deal, and I'm just desensitized because it's my own situation. My mother has warned me about being close with M being a red flag to guys, so I'm now second-guessing if it really does look from the outside like I was hiding it. The reaction is so out of character for Dan. I'm really starting to feel like I messed up, but at the same time, I also don't get why it's a big deal that we don't share blood. Edit. Because I saw a few people asking about what my mother said. She's a bit conservative, so I think she's overreacting, but this whole thing just reminded me. She mentioned it at a time when M and I were living together, and she said men might be uncomfortable because we're roommates, and M is protective of me. We also have matching tattoos, which my mother says is weird, but she also just hates that I have a tattoo, so I don't take that too seriously, and that he gave me a Cartier love bracelet that I wear all the time. Also, he apparently has a habit of touching my neck that she finds weird. I say apparently because yes, he does this sometimes to steer me in a crowded room, or a signal if we're in social situations the same way you would nudge someone under the table to get their attention, but I don't consider it a habit. Edit 2. When Dan said lack of boundaries, he just means I tell M a lot of things and ask for his advice a lot. He does the same with me. It's not related to anything physical. For anyone asking how we were meant to be related, my dad presented M as the son from his short-lived marriage to his ex. M is 9 years older than me, so we thought we were half-siblings. Turns out his mother and my father had separated by the time he was conceived, but my dad went along with M being his son because he wanted a child. Not the bonehead. This is a non-issue for you. He is your brother. DNA changes nothing. He has always been your big brother. I am concerned about your boyfriend's reaction. To go from seeing him as your brother to a rival for your affection or sexual overnight is kind of sick. But you obviously don't have an honest understanding of how you and M behave with each other, and it's not because Mom is conservative. You have matching tattoos, which is not major, but certainly can be viewed much differently when related to not being actually related. M gave you a Cartier love bracelet that you wear all the time. Okay. Now this is something much more concerning with your relationship, as a love bracelet is not something siblings would normally give to one another. M apparently has a habit of touching your neck that Mom finds weird. There we go. This type of physical interaction, Especially since you seem to be so casual about it, it's certainly out of the norm. He actually does physically touch you. Each of these items may be overlooked individually, but all of them together, along with the stuff you surely left out, indicate there is a very different type of relationship you share that certainly isn't a normal sibling situation. You may cover it up with your justifications, but it is certainly there. Not the bonehead, but based specifically on your edits, you and your brother are blurring boundaries. A sibling giving you an expensive love bracelet that you wear all the time and touching your neck to get your attention are not normal sibling behaviors. Adding matching tattoos seems like boundary crossing. I am sure there are other behaviors that you're not mentioning that Dan has seen and is uncomfortable with. That still doesn't make you the bonehead, but maybe you should think about whether this behavior is actually okay. If you think it is, you need to find someone who is okay with it. Your mom is right. Most people will not be okay with it. Am I the bonehead for telling my wife that I don't plan to be monogamous to her for the time being? My wife and I were separated for 6 months on her wish. Let's just say both are at fault, but that's not relevant. I found out that she was having sex a few months into the separation, and I called her in anger. She told me that we never talked about exclusivity and separation. We did not, it was a mistake, and if I want her to stop, she will. I thought about it and told her to do whatever she wants. It's not like she can un-F the man, and if she had sex one time, it's not different from having sex more than one time. I started dating again too, and I am in a kind of relationship with a woman. There are romantic feelings. We are not exclusive though. She can date other people and I can too. My wife wants to reconcile now, as she has worked on her issues. She is going to therapy, etc. I am open to it as there are kids involved, and I see a genuine change in her. We can make it work, but I am in love with this other woman too, and I want her involved in my life. So I was upfront with my wife. I am willing to work on our relationship, but I am not willing to let go of my girlfriend. She said she never had sex after I called her that time, as she thought it would hurt our reconciliation if that happened. She even showed me the message to the guy about never contacting her again and blocking him 1 hour after I called her. I told her that she can't un-F the guy, so it's not relevant that she stopped. I love my girlfriend and I like her company. She asked me how long am I planning to see her, and I told her, as long as I can. She is not a fling, I love her. I can't just discard her, nor do I want to. I don't plan to build a family with my girlfriend. Neither does she. I just want her company. I want to build back my family with my wife, but I want my girlfriend too. My wife protested, but I told her that she was the one who wanted separation, so she can't expect me to not fall in love with someone else. So here we stand. I do want to reconcile, but I won't stop seeing my girlfriend. I love my wife, and I love my girlfriend. I don't plan to choose. My girlfriend is okay with me reconciling with my wife. Oh boy, just get a divorce already. This is ridiculous. The marriage was over a long time ago. Time to divorce. If your wife doesn't want an open marriage, then you have to choose. You can't keep both women. You either want a marriage or you don't. Am I the bonehead for calling my sister a greedy, delusional bee for trying to leave my son behind? I, 37 female, have 3 kids, 10 male, 7 female, 7 female, and my sister, 35 female, has 2, 9 female, 7 male. My mother, 62 female, bought us all a Disney vacation for Christmas with some of the money she had received from my father's life insurance. He passed in 2022. It's not booked or anything. Still have to agree on dates, which will be another horrible adventure, but we're going in the spring. Mom is paying for absolutely everything. Airfare, Disney hotel, park tickets, food, souvenirs, you name it, all expenses paid. We got a few gifts from my mother, but not as many as normal. When she brought out the envelope, she handed it to my little sister, who opened it. Inside it was a little certificate my mother had made that said, "All expenses paid for my last name, and her last name, families to Disney World." My sister read it out to everyone. The kids erupted, as I'm sure you can imagine they would. They were thrilled. Her son ran around the room screaming, "Disney World, Disney World." But my sister has been acting insane since Christmas. She says our mother is showing favoritism to me because she is buying me more. When I asked what she meant, she said that our mother should be giving her the cost of all the things she spends on my third child that she doesn't have. I actually laughed because I thought she was joking at first because it seemed so ridiculous, but that enraged her. She legitimately thinks my mother is playing favorites because Mom is paying for both sets of kids and I have one more kid than her. So apparently, she should get cash for the extra my mom was spending on me, or I should just leave my son home and only bring the twins so it's even. I finally had it and said she was a greedy, delusional bee if she thought my son should be unincluded just because I had one more kid than her. And that the gifts clearly weren't for us. They were for the kids, and each kid was included. This is where I may have overstepped, but I was furious. Am I the bonehead? My mother thinks I should apologize, but I think my sister should apologize for trying to disinclude my son, who she has no issues with. My husband is siding with me, but obviously her husband is siding with her. Not the bonehead. Your sister is a greedy, delusional bee. Of course your mother would include all her grandchildren. And she should absolutely not pay your sister for having one less child. WTF, honestly. So disrespectful and ungrateful of her. Not the bonehead. Your sister is insane, and maybe she shouldn't go to Disney World. She doesn't deserve to go. My in-laws took the family to Spain this past summer. My wife and I have 3 kids. My brother-in-law had none. He never once thought that he should get money equal to the kids. That is so dumb and entitled. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and comment. I'll see you in the next Reddit story. Take care.